Hello everybody, my name is Pigsy. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you're new. And let's just get right into the what if. So we start our story with Deku being birthed by Inko. And Inko doesn't even get the chance to look at her baby before she dies. In an alleyway, where Deku's just stuck there. Luckily for Deku, a person sees the baby, picks them up, ignores the dead body completely, tears the umbilical cord out, and just takes the baby to their house. Eventually we learn this is a snake quirk lady. And Deku's like raised up until 2, where he accidentally touches another baby in daycare, because on Snake Lake he works in daycare. And the baby doesn't know it yet, but Deku took his quirk. Deku did that on instinct and didn't even know he took his quirk. And Deku took his quirk, and it turns out that quirk was fire breathing. A little bit of a nod to what Deku could have had if he had a quirk. And so Deku eventually shows signs of having a quirk exactly at the right time, without Deku knowing that he took the kid's quirk. So it's a little bit of an upset because the kid had the exact same trait as every quirk person, but he still didn't have a quirk for some reason. So, yeah. And so Deku just lives his life with his fire-breathing quirk, all the way up to 14, where Deku does it again, where he walks by a guy that he particularly doesn't like because the kid is a creep. It's a person with a sharp blade quirk, but it's like that one guy's fruit in One Piece with the blade fruit, I think, where you can sharpen any edge of your body, elbows, arms, fingers, legs, that kind of quirk. And Deku bumps into him while the guy's harassing someone. On purpose, of course. And the guy tries to pull out a knife thing on Deku, but he can't. And he keeps trying, like he's always done in his life. But when Deku realizes the guy keeps doing the thing at him, he gets annoyed and does the same thing, stabbing the guy right in the chest. Because those blades extend right into the guy's chest, killing him. And Deku retracts it in horror and having blood all over his face and hands. But the girl thanks Deku, and she calls the police, saying that the guy sexually assaulted her and she took action. And so Deku gets away with it, knowing he saved a life. And so Deku takes up vigilante work, taking people's quirks because he realizes that's his power. He takes the quirks of the people he of the creepy people he kills. Sometimes he even has to fight heroes because they're being evil. I would like to mention that Deku lives on his own now because the snake lady died of an illness. But luckily she left him in his will because he was the only person she loved as her son. So Deku got all of her will and stuff, and Deku works at the daycare. And then Deku just lives his life really, killing creeps and bad heroes and villains all alike for a couple years, and he becomes a 16-year-old. He doesn't decide to go to UA because he realizes that his methods are a bit bloody. So he decides to become a vigilante instead. And I would say that he actually goes to a different school than Bakura does. So, But, unluckily for Deku, a teacher at that school that Deku went to told him that he should probably go to UA because his quirk's being so powerful. He thinks his Deku's quirk is the fire breathing, which Deku mainly uses in school. So no one knows what his actual quirk is. So Deku, liking the guy enough to where, fine, he'll go. So Deku gets up from the chair he was just in, and actually goes home. Deku tells him, then Izuku tells the teacher that he'll think about it. And Deku then goes home on his laptop, typing out UA, and then does his research and everything, knowing all the people and staff, and knowing the descriptions, Aizawa being strict, Vlad being a bit more laid back, but a lot harder to be nice to, because he's pretty annoying to most of the workers, and he just goes down the list. Then he says up and coming new person, new teacher. So Deku is excited to see what the new teacher will be. But yeah, he's decided he'll try. And so Deku the next day asks the guy if he can get him to be able to change his scholarship. So the teacher, being a nice dude, tells Izuku that he's got it. And so Izuku gets his scholarship changed to UA. And then Deku trains. He trains all of his quirks, every single one of them. But, of course, he trains his fire quirk the most. And even fuses some quirks so Deku can expand his fire quirk. So he can shoot it out of his eyes. Also, he can cover his body in fire. And Deku just decides that's how he'll get into UA. And then he'll reveal that he can, as like a little shocker to the audience. By the audience, he means UA, to shock them into, like, whoa. And eventually, and so Deku, so Izuku, eventually goes over to UA, and is excited to start his new UA. And he gets there, meets a couple people. He meets Ida, Ochako. The conversations really go in canon, but Ida is a less not yelling at Deku for being mumbling. He's just talking to him after the exams. Because Deku approached Ida in this timeline and asked him how his nerves are doing. Vegeta being a little bit more chill now because he's fine with people talking to him. So Deku makes quick friends with Ida and Ochako, because Ochako sees Deku talking to Ida and goes over to see what they're talking about. And then that group just forms, really. And Deku decides that he'll do a little bit of trolling. So Deku turns over to the door, charges up a fire punch, and smashes through the door, melting the door fully off. With everyone being like, "Whoa, kid, dude, you're gonna get yourself disqualified." But Deku just runs in with his fire quirk. And no one disqualifies him or says anything. They actually come on the intercom and tell him to go, go, go. And so Deku gets an early lead by burning up the robots and, getting a big lead. And basically, if you look at the scoreboards right now, Deku and Bakugo are going at the exact same speeds. But of course, if Deku was using all of his quirks, he would demolish Bakugo in this category, in destroying. And eventually, the zero pointer shows up, and Deku sees it, and decides, I think this is where he shows his power. So Deku turns off his fire quirk, walks over to the 1.0 point lot, flies up, which shocks everyone, because there seems to be no fire coming from any area, charges an energy wave, and blows a hole straight through the zero pointer. And before the zero pointer can fall over, the good old all-for-one tentacles come out, but they're green this time, and it catches the zero pointer and crushes it into a cube, then setting the cube on fire, melting it through the things, and then Deku retracts them. Again, Deku flies down and looks directly at his security camera and thumbs up. And then every single pro hero, All Might, everyone's like dead shocked. Especially All Might. Because All Might recognizes those tentacles anywhere and is horrified to what he sees. So All Might immediately tells not everyone that he needs to see that kid immediately, because he needs to know if this kid's connected to All For One at all, because that was exact All For One's quirk, and the exact quirks he used when they were fighting. And so All Might gets a meeting set up after Deku gets into the UA, because clearly he's getting into the UA. So we cut a couple of weeks later to Deku in his studio apartment, then getting a letter. So he looks down at the letter on his sofa while he was binge watching Jujutsu Kaisen, because he liked that show. So he puts down his laptop after he was done doing an essay. The essay was how the babysitting job could work better. He runs babysitting on the side with a family. But anyways, Deku grabs the letter, slowly tears it open in anticipation, and gets a whole tablet. It's custom made too, to just Deku, and it opens up to All Might, straight up All Might, saying that he wants to meet with him and he's gotten to UA. Meet him in the first day of school in the principal's office, which Deku's like, what happened? And so he waits, and then the day comes where he goes over to the principal's office, opens the door to All Might in his small form, telling the kids to just sit down. And so Deku sits down, Izuku sits down, immediately realizing that's All Might. You know how he realizes that? He had a sensory quirk. He has a sensory quirk where he can see the true soul and mind of the person. He has a mind reading quirk, and knows that he just got out of a job beating up a big villain. So Deku sits down, tells him that he knows he's All Might, and so Toshinori gets shocked, goes into his buff form, and actually stands up with his fist clenched, asking him how he knew that, with Deku actually getting shocked, like, oh, like. So All Might chills out, de-shrinks a gun, coughing out blood, but wiping it away with a handkerchief, with Deku shocked on how All Might got this way. Then All Might said that he got this way by a villain. And Deku doesn't know which villain, but he said that sucks. All For One then, Deku then says, so why did you want to see me? All Might says that he has the exact quirk he thought his arch nemesis had. And so Deku asks who that is. And All Might says it was All For One. Which Deku's like, who? And All Might just immediately thinks, okay, this kid has no idea who All For One is. He's safe. So Toshinori explains that All For One is a horrible villain that was born a really, really long time ago. And basically he dumps every single bit of lore All For One has given away to All Might. And so All Might then explains one for all. And the reason All Might's so open to this is because the kid's so strong. I bet that kid would have gotten it already. So Deku then sees All Might's big wound from All For One, and Deku decides to try healing it. Just offer it. All Might's like, chill, dude. Okay. Offer it. All Might's like, best doctors in the world can even heal it. Best healer quirks, all that. Until Deku decides, well, I can just fuse the quirks I have. And then All Might gets shocked by that statement. And Deku then fuses all the quirks into one spot, where Toshinori got the pain thing, and it retracts, shrinks, bubs out like an old muscle, and it actually starts to fill out All For Toshinori's body, fixing him to look almost like he did in his prime. But of course he still looks old, and he has the darkened eyes. But he's thinner, of course, because it's like a mixture of both forms. And so Deku tells All Might that, well, if this All For One guy has this quirk, then he should probably be able to do the same thing. So All Might keeps that in mind and says to Deku that he thinks he killed him. But All Might does say he does have his doubts, though. I meant to say All Might's still old, so he's not basically in his prime. He just has an old wound healed. It's still Omega scarred, but he's not dying from the wound or losing power when he powers up. So he doesn't have a timeline anymore. So just basically, if All Might never got punched. So pretty strong. Anyways, Deku says that he'll try and find him, which All Might wonders how he's going to do that, but All Might ignores that because he needs to go teach a class. Or talk to Nezu, who just walked in. So Deku stands up, says, "Hello, Nezu," and Nezu says hi to his new student, like, "Hello, student," and then Deku leaves. And then Nezu actually gets a face of shock when he realizes All Might looks a lot younger and a lot slimmer than if he was in his buff form. And then Toshinori then explains that he told Deku everything. And Nezu looks at Toshinori with a dumbfounded face. Then we see Deku just skipping along to his first class of Class 1A. A bit late, but he's there. He's there before they, at least the class is about to start. And Deku then says out loud that they should probably be quiet considering the teacher's about to get here. Is here. With everyone being shocked how Deku knew that. When Deku looks over to the desk, he hears a voice grumbling. And Aizawa gets up and explains himself. Explains that they're going to do something, and that it took them way too long to be quiet. And Deku then just waits. Then Deku goes to sit down. And Aizawa explains what they're going to do. They're going to test their abilities, which I don't want to explain because we all know how this goes. Deku aces every single category. Like, he's absorbed so many quirks already from how many years he's been doing this? 16. Actually, not 16. 14. Takes 11 years, so he doesn't have a lot, but he does have most. By the way, some of the quirks Deku doesn't even remember, so I mean, you know that tentacle thing he had? He basically got it from basically genes. Now I just spoiled it, didn't I? Yeah, All For One's Deku's dad. That's why Inko was dying, because after about to give birth to Deku, All For One felt threatened, so he went to go kill her. And almost killed her, but she got into an alley and gave birth. And the snake lady found Deku before All For One could get there. And why no one figured out who Inko was is because All For One evaporated her with a decay quirk. Yes, it's supposed to be Shigaraki's quirk, revealing that Shigaraki's quirk was implanted into him from All For One. So I'd like to think that All For One's like tentacle things are just like a thing attached to the quirk, because I want Deku to have them. Anyways, we then just see Deku about to leave UA when Uravaka and Ida catch up with Deku and tell him that you want to walk to school home together, and Deku doesn't object, and they just walk to school together. With Deku saying that they are good company, and so yeah. So we see the next. That's really the end, really. Anyways, guys, hope you liked the video. It's really a build up to the USJ stuff. Anyways, enough of that. Like, subscribe, hit the post notification bells. Hope you guys liked the video. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Goodbye.